There's a moth outside your window right now, throwing itself at a light bulb, and it has no idea why. For millions of years, its ancestors steered by the moon. The trick was simple and beautiful. Pick the brightest light in the sky, hold it at a fixed angle, and you fly in a straight line. The moon is far enough away that the angle never changes. It works perfectly. It worked perfectly for longer than our entire species has existed. And then, a heartbeat ago in that story, we started hanging lights that aren't the moon. The moth locks onto the bulb the way it was built to lock onto the moon. But the bulb is close, so the angle keeps shifting, so the moth keeps correcting, and every correction curves it in tighter until it's spiraling around a 40-watt light all night for nothing. The software was never broken. The world just changed, and the software didn't get the memo. You know this feeling. It's late. You're meant to be asleep an hour ago, and here you still are circling something on a screen, pulled in by a light your brain treats as important because a much older version of your brain decided it was. That's what this whole series is about. Not that people got dumber. That we're all modern moths running beautiful old software in a world it was never written for. Here's the thing about you that you almost never think about. The instincts you run on were not designed for the life you're living. They were designed for a very different one, a very long time ago. Anatomically, people like us have been around for somewhere between 2 and 300,000 years. Civilization, cities, writing, agriculture, the whole built world is maybe 12,000 years old. Call it 500 generations, and 500 generations is nothing. It is nowhere near enough time for evolution to redesign a human being for city life or office life, or a life where a glowing rectangle in your pocket can put the anger of 10,000 strangers into your hand before breakfast. So you're carrying around a set of instincts tuned for a small group of people you'd know your whole life on a landscape where the biggest information source was the person standing in front of you. Irvin calls that older instinct driven part of you, the primitive mind. It isn't stupid. It kept your ancestors alive through everything that could kill them. It's just doing its job in a world that stopped matching its instructions a long time ago. Same as the moth. Here's what that mismatch actually feels like from the inside. Because it's not abstract. It's happening to you constantly. Someone you've never met leaves a nasty comment under something you wrote. Nothing physical is at stake. No one can touch you. And yet your heart speeds up. Your face gets hot. And for the next 20 minutes, you're drafting and deleting a reply to a stranger instead of living your life. Your body just ran a threat response. The same ancient alarm your ancestors needed when the threat was a rival who could actually get you thrown out of the group. And in their world, that alarm was correct. For most of human history, being cast out of your small band wasn't an insult. It was a death sentence. There were no other bands to join, no other food, no other protection. So evolution built you to care desperately and automatically what the people around you think of you. That instinct was survival equipment. Drop it into a world of 7-inch screens and anonymous strangers, and the same equipment has you circling one cruel sentence at midnight, flapping around a porch light, certain it's the moon. That's the pattern under everything we're going to talk about this season. The instinct isn't crazy. It's just answering a question the modern world stopped asking. Tim Urban has a way of making this land. Imagine all of human history written as one fat book, 1,000 pages, each page covering 250 years. Almost everything you would recognize is on the final page, not the final chapter, the final page. Your country, your city, the light in your ceiling, the internet, this video, all of it crammed into the last sliver of the last sheet of paper. Turn back even a page or two, and you're already in a world with no writing, no wheel, no memory of you at all. And it's not just that the recent stuff is recent. It's that the pages are speeding up. Grab someone from the middle of the book and move them forward one page, 250 years, and they manage. Different clothes, same world. Do that near the end, and it stops working. Take a person from the second to last page, drop them onto ours, and the shock alone might kill them. Metal birds in the sky, a voice from a slab of glass, more information crossing their eyes in an afternoon than crossed their ancestors in a lifetime. That's the vertigo I want you to sit in for a second. The world your instincts were built for is hundreds of pages back. The world you actually woke up in this morning is the wet ink at the very edge of the final page, and it keeps changing faster. Every year, the light gets brighter and closer, and the ancient software behind your eyes keeps doing the one thing it knows how to do. Lock on. Correct. Spiral. But here's the one thing you have that the moth doesn't. The moth can never notice it's circling a bulb. It can't step outside its own instructions and go, wait, this isn't the moon. You can, right now. Reading this, you're doing the thing no moth has ever done. Watching your own mind from the outside and asking whether it's steering by something real. Urban's name for that part of you is the higher mind, the part that can reflect, update, change its mind, and occasionally catch the primitive mind mid-mistake and take back the wheel. It's the part that, halfway through typing the furious reply, quietly asks, do I actually want to spend my night on this? And sometimes, not always, puts the phone down. And this is the whole ball game for the season, so I want to say it plainly. You are not a smart person or a dumb person. You are both minds all day long, trading the wheel back and forth, clear-eyed about some things, completely captured by others. The engineer who reasons carefully all day at work can go home and believe something insane about a topic that scares him. And it's not because his IQ dropped on the drive home. It's because a different part of him picked up the wheel. The only question that ever matters for him, for me, for you, is which mind is driving right now. So when you look around at the moment we're living in, the arguing, the conspiracy theories, the sense that everyone has lost their minds, and you ask what is wrong with people, I think that's the wrong question. Because the hardware didn't change. Nobody woke up dumber than their grandparents. The porch lights got brighter, and there are a lot more of them now, and they're in everyone's pocket. And before this turns into a comfortable evening of watching me diagnose everybody else, let me be the first one on the table. I circled a light this morning. I've caught myself more than once wanting you to feel clever for following along because a part of my own primitive mind would enjoy that and address the wish up as teaching. That reflex, the little hit of at least I'm not like them, is not the cure for what this book describes. It's the single best example of it. Keep an eye on me. I'm going to keep an eye on you. Because here's the uncomfortable part, and it's where we start next time. You already know how to think clearly. You do it every single day about 100 different things. Which route to take, which pan is hot, who's lying to you. And then there are a few specific subjects where you cannot do it at all. Same brain, same day, total difference. Next time, why the way you think has almost nothing to do with how smart you are, and everything to do with which subject just walked into the room.